Ivon, good afternoon, Venerable Mahasangha, dear parents, teachers, brothers and sisters. I would like to welcome you all to Dhamma Day 2018, organised by Jethavana Buddhist Vihara.
Ivon, Subha Sandhya, Gauraniya Swamin Wahanselagenda, Dayabara Demapiyangenda, Guruvarungenda, Avasarai. Mage Adaraniya Swarusooriyan visin, Jethavana Bauddha Vihare, 2018 වසරේ පවත්වන ධම්ම දිනයට ඔබ සැම ගෞරවයෙන් පිළිගනිමු.
සම්මා සම්බුදු සරණයි. සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක් වේවා ඔබ සැමට. ගෞරවනීය මහා සංඝරත්නයන් අවසරයි. දයාබර දෙමාපියන්ගෙන් හා ගුරුවරුන්ගෙන් අවසරයි. මගේම සොයුරියන්ගෙන් අවසරයි. Birmingham Jethavana බෞද්ධ විහාරයේ දහම් පාසලේ සිව්වන වර්තත් සංවිධානය කර දහම් දිනයේ වැඩසටහනට පැමිණි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාම මා ආදරයෙන් පිළිගන්නවා. පුංචි අපේ දහම් දැනුමත් දක්ෂතාත් එළි දක්වන මෙම වැඩසටහන සදා සිටින් නරඹන ලෙස මා ඔබට ආරාධනා කරනවා. ඔබ සැමට තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Dhamma Day 2018 at Jethavana Buddhist Vihara. It is both an honour and a privilege to stand before you today and welcome you to our 4th Dhamma Day Jethavana Buddhist Vihara. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome Venerable Maha Sangha, all teachers and parents, my fellow Dhamma school students, to Dhamma Day. It is a great privilege to see everyone here today. I hope you will enjoy the Buddhist cultural activities and events lined up for you, performed by our Sunday school students. So sit back, relax and enjoy the rest of the day with us. Theruwan Saranai.
එසේනම් මගේ මේ ආරාධනය දහම් පාසලේ පුංචිම පුංචි නංගිලා මල්ලිලාටයි. අපි අහලා බලමු එයාලගේ ඉගෙනගත් හොඳ පුරුදු මොනවාද කියලා.
සරු ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි. දෙමාපියන්ගෙන් අවසරයි. අපි මෙතන ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ හොඳ පුදු සිරිත් ගැන පුංචි ගීත තුනක්. Mahasangha, dear parents, brothers and sisters, today we are going to talk and sing songs about value and goodness that we should develop as Buddhist children. Thank you very much. We should try to be generous. It means we should share and give always what we have. We should try to develop good behavior and avoid bad and wrongdoing. You can do this by following the precepts.
We should try to practice meditation. It means that you focus your mind on something.
We should try to practice mindfulness. It means that you notice what's happening around you and your body feels right now.
We should always do good deeds. We should respect our teachers, parents and elderly.
We should not shout or tell lies.
Practice Sila, practice Bhavana. If we practice sincerely, this will make us feel happy. Practice giving, practice precepts, practice meditation. If we practice them sincerely, these will make us feel happy. Practice Dhamma, practice Sila, practice Bhavana. If we practice them sincerely, these will make us feel happy. Practice giving, practice precepts, practice meditation. If we practice them sincerely, these will make us feel happy. These will make us feel happy. When we are mindful, we won't be so forgetful. This statement is not false but true. Let us come and test it too. Because please come and see whether it is true. Only then we can accept it that it says yes, it's true. And say, oh yes, it's true. Always think of good thoughts, say good speech, do good deeds. Always think of good thoughts, these are good seeds. Good thoughts are like kindness, gratitude, mindfulness, good speech of gentleness, truthfulness, kindness and patience, good deeds, helpfulness, forever generous, good deeds have all these things. These will make us happy. These will make us happy. Soksapapasa karana, kusala supasapado, sakrita pariyotapana, eda guritavisasana. Do not do bad, do good. Keep your mind clean. These are the teachings of all Buddhas.
Craving results in sorrow. The Lord Buddha explained this through a beautiful Jethavana story. Now I'd like to invite students from class 2 for their drama about the golden swan.
Dear parents, sirs, parents and friends, today we are going to tell you a story about a golden swan. Once upon a time there lived a father, mother and 3 daughters. One day the father became very ill and died suddenly. We will tell you what happened to the mother and the 3 daughters.
Metta, Mudita, Karuna, where are you, my daughters? I have something important to tell you. We are coming, Mother. As you may know, your father has died and you have been very helpful to me. So thank you for that. Since your father has died, we have been living out of the savings he has saved us. But now that has come to an end. If we do not find any means of living pretty soon, I don't know what to do.
Don't cry, Mother. We will find a way to live. Please don't cry. I've been flying about this village for years now, and I've noticed this one house right next to the river is always very clean. I can see the 3 daughters in that house are always very efficient, and not only they clean the house and the garden, but also the pond. I think it's time for me to give them a reward. Golden feather. Yes, sister, it looks like a golden swan feather. Let's show it to Mom. Mother, where are you?
I'm here, my daughters.
Mother, look at what you found.
What is it, children?
Mother found this golden swan feather in the garden while we were cleaning the garden.
Wow, it looks so beautiful. It looks very valuable too. I should take it to the goldsmith tomorrow and ask him how much he could give to me.
Time passed by. The golden swan fled to their garden every day and left a feather. The mother and the 3 daughters are living a comfortable life now. They have been selling the golden feathers to the goldsmith.
Remember, tomorrow is Sunday again. Shall we eat the pot tomorrow?
Yes, sister, that's a good idea. And that's where our best friend, the golden swan, lives too.
Daughters, you are not going anywhere tomorrow.
Why, Mother?
My best friend, the mayor's wife, has invited me to her birthday party, and I have nothing to wear. All my saris are worthless now.
Mother, we don't have money to waste like that. We only have money to live a comfortable life. And I'm so thankful for my best friend, the golden swan.
Aha, the golden swan. I have a good idea. If we catch the golden swan when he comes to our garden tomorrow, we could pluck all his feathers, and we could earn a fortune. We could buy as much saris as we want to.
Mother, that's such an unkind thing to do. That swan helped us when we were struggling to make a living, and now we want it. Should we kill it?
Oh no, Mother. Martha is right, Mother. If we plug out all the feathers, it will hurt him so much.
I don't want to do this well.
You are my daughter. Silence. You will listen to me, and we will do it today. Say no more. Oh, hello, you beautiful swan. Please come closer. I must see your beauty. Aha!
Ouch, you're hurting me. This is so fun. Anybody, please help me. Please. I need you. Oh dears, I've made a terrible mistake. Look at all these feathers, they have turned white. I'm so sorry, girls. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't cry, son. We'll take care of you. Please don't cry. Thank you everybody for watching and listening to our play. That was the end. Please remember to be content with what you have and don't go after too much worry.
Next, the importance of taking refuge in Triple Gem will be explained by the story of Jethavana by students in class 2.
During Lord Buddha's time, there was a child named Jethavana who was intelligent and very good at learning. He completed all his studies quite earlier than the others. Those days they paid the fees of their teacher after completing their studies. Jethavana made his fees ready for paying his teacher and left on foot for his teacher's palace through a foot trail in the jungle. The Lord Buddha saw through his divine eye that Jethavana was going through the jungle, and also he will soon run into a great trouble that nobody can avoid. Out of compassion for him, our Lord Buddha appeared right in front of him. As soon as Jethavana saw the Lord Buddha, he quickly recognized him. Before this, Jethavana had never taken refuge in the Triple Gem and did not know about the precepts. Lord Buddha told him the 5 precepts, explaining them one by one.
Panatipata Virmani Sikha Padang Samadhyami, meaning, I will not kill or destroy living beings. I will refrain from sexual misconduct.
I will not lie or make false speech.
Means, I will not take intoxicating drinks and drugs that leads to carelessness.
After hearing the 5 precepts, Jethavana was very happy and he worshipped the Lord Buddha from his whole heart and mind. He promised that he will keep the 5 precepts all his life. After that, our Lord Buddha taught him 3 more magnificent verses about the worthiness of the Triple Gem.
Greatest speaker is human. The sage of Sakya, the holy one, whose task is done, gone beyond having all the powers and courage. Oh, the well gone one, for one I go for refuge.
Free from sorrow, free from disgust, unconditioned is this Dhamma, well explained, perfectly attainable. For this Dhamma, sweet and noble, happily I go for refuge.
Dhamma great fruit, it is said, to 4 pure pairs of cousins. And these 8 people who have realized the truth, to this very song I'll give the language.
Dear reverend sirs, parents and friends, this story is about an intelligent young man called Chatta.
සත්ව මරණයෙන් බේරගන්න දරුණාට ඔහුට පන්සිල් සමාදන් කරවීමෙන් හා තුරුණන් සරණ යැවීමෙන් මරණින් මතු සුගතියක උපත දීමට බුදුපියාණන් වහන්සේට හැකි වුණා.
දැන් අපි යමු මිහිරි ගාථා පෙළකට. මගේ ආරාධනය තුන්වෙනි පන්තියේ සොයුරියන්ටයි. බලන්න මේ ජයමංගල ගාථා ඔයාලටත් අහලා පුරුදුද කියලා.
There are 9 stanzas and 8 of them are related to the channels of Buddha faith. These stanzas were chanted at special events such as weddings and important national celebrations for Sri Lankans. These stanzas are stories of species that emphasize how Buddha overcame significant challenges in his life. These stanzas are chanted to bless and to wish for the abilities to overcome challenges that may before.
ජයමංගල් ගාථා 9ක් තිබෙන අතරේ ඉන් 8ක් බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ මුහුණ දුන් අභියෝග සහ ඒවා ජයගත් ආකාරයේ ගැන විස්තර කරනවා. මෙම ගාථා විවාහ උත්සව සහ වෙනත් ජාතික උත්සව අවස්ථාවලදී ගායන කරන ලබනවා.
Surrounded by his huge army, Bodhisattvas defeated him by stating that he had fulfilled the 10 perfections or paramis.
More than even, more contending all night through, indeed the fierce and obdurate Yaka Alavaka. Through forbearance and well-trained method, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power may there be victorious auspicious to you. The demon named Alavaka terrorized the people of Alavi with demands for human sacrifices. The Buddha visited Alavaka's abode and sat on his throne. Angry Alavaka ordered the Buddha to get out, and the Buddha left, and when ordered to come in, the Buddha came in. Again, angry Alavaka ordered the Buddha to get out and come in, and the Buddha complied. But the next time, the Buddha refused to go and sat down. Then Alavaka threatened to pervert his mind by asking questions. The Buddha conquered Alavaka by answering all the questions.
Nalagiri, the great elephant, fully drunk, like a circle of jungle fire, that one terrible like a thunderbolt. Through means of sprinkling the water of loving kindness, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power may there be victorious auspices to you. Nalagiri was a ferocious elephant in King Ajatasattu's table. After several attempts to kill the Buddha, Jethavana obtained the king's permission to give the call to Nalagiri and released it onto the streets where the Buddha was walking. The Buddha used his loving kindness to subdue the elephant, which knelt at his feet in homage.
Holding up his sword with lifted hand, but very fierce, Angulimala running a distance of 3 leagues, Through psychic power, with conditioned mind, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power, may there be victorious auspices to you. At the time of the Buddha, there was a boy called Ahimsaka. His parents sent him to a famous teacher to give him the best education. He was a very bright student, and the other students were jealous of him. They told false tales about him to the teacher. The teacher, who planned to destroy Ahimsaka, asked him to kill 1,000 people and bring 1,000 fingers to pay as a fees for the education. To show his faith to the teacher, Ahimsaka started killing people and collecting fingers. He became to be known as Angulimala because he wore the fingers as a garland. One day the Buddha went to meet him. By now he had collected 999 fingers. When Angulimala saw the Buddha, he ran after to kill him. The Buddha used his psychic powers and walked always ahead of Angulimala, who was running at full speed. Angulimala shouted, "Stop!" And while walking, the Buddha said, "I have stopped. You should also stop." Angulimala was puzzled. The Buddha explained that he has stopped violence and cycle of rebirth and preached Dhamma.
Forming her belly with fireworks like unto a pregnant woman, the corrupt words of Shincha in the midst of people, through quiet means with calmness, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power may there be victorious auspices to you. Chincha Malavika was a female wanderer who conspired to discredit the Buddha. Each evening when people were returning from Jethavana after listening to the Buddha's teachings, she would head towards the monastery dressed in fine clothes. She would then stay at a nearby dwelling and return in the early morning. On the way, she would drop hints on the people who brought alms that she had spent a wonderful night at the monastery. After some months, she pretended that she was pregnant by tying a bundle of wood under her dress and making a public accusation. She claimed that the Buddha was the father of the child that she was expecting and demanded for support. The Buddha said nothing, remaining perfectly serene and composed. Devas appeared in the form of mice and cut the ropes holding the wood under Chincha's dress. Logs fell down, cutting off her toes, and the crowd chased her out to the monastery.
Even true that such Sakka and could not arguments as through like a banner, fixing his mind on arguments, fully blinded to truth, shining with the lamp of wisdom, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power may there be victorious auspices to you. Satchika was a disciple of Nigata, naked as a vixen, was a skilled debater. One day he met Venerable Assaji and expressed his wish to meet and debate with the Buddha. He boasted to a large crowd of the entire city that today he would defeat the Buddha in a debate, but he was unable to answer any of the points made by the Buddha. He started to sweat and was forced to admit defeat and apologize for his former rudeness.
The Naga, Nandapananda, very wise and of great psychic power, caused him to be tamed by his son, the elder, who was like a Naga. Through the method of psychic power and advice, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power, may there be victorious auspices to you. Once, when the Buddha was travelling with 500 monks, Nandapananda, a Naga king, blocked the way. Several monks, including the Ratapala, Bhadia and Rahula, offered to quell the Naga's power. But Buddha said no other monk other than Moggallana had the power to face all the dangers created by the Naga and remain unharmed. So Venerable Moggallana and Nandapananda competed with one another in exhibition of their psychic power, and in the end Nandapananda had to acknowledge the defeat.
With his hand much beaten by the Naga, namely wrong views, the Brahman named Baka of clear chin and psychic power through the method of the medicine of knowledge, the Lord of Sages won. Through that power may there be victorious auspices to you. Once there was a great Brahman called Baka. He lived so long that he forgot his previous existences and became convinced of his immortality. The Buddha went to his abode to remove his illusion, but Brahman kept on bragging about his eternal life. The Buddha revealed the good deeds that had led to the Brahman's longevity and explained that it had created the illusion of his immortality. Still, the Brahman was conceited, and in order to show his power,
he tried to vanish out of sight, but it was in vain. Finally, the Brahmana admitted defeat.
Envy is a Buddha stance of victorious species. He who recites daily and remembers without sloth, giving up various troubles and dangers, that wise man could attain happiness of release.
ප්‍රශ්න ඇසීමෙන් ධර්මය අපහැදිලි තැන් තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් දැන් අපි අවධානය යොමු කරමු ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යයන්ගේ සුහද විවාදයට.
Dear references, monks, parents, teachers and friends, suffering a matter of opinion whether it exists or not. Well, today, the two senior groups have come together to debate the topic of suffering.
We all have expectations, but these expectations can be positive or negative. Most of these end up in desperation. This is what we normally call suffering, which causes a big area in Buddhism. The Buddha said there are 10 types of suffering. What we expect is happiness, but most of the time the opposite happens. From the time we are born to the end of life, we suffer. Buddha explains this suffering with the story of the two arrows. If you get hit by one arrow, you're going to suffer from the pain. But if you get hit with a second arrow to the same place, you're going to suffer even more. The first arrow represents the suffering that we are all born with. If you're born, you're going to suffer. The second arrow is the multiplication of suffering that we cause ourselves by desiring for things that make us happy, or at least things that we think are going to make us happy.
We think that there are many things within ourselves and in the environment that contribute to human life to make life easier and fruitful. We need to open our eyes and see that happiness is all around us. People misunderstand and think that nature is suffering. All living things are born and all living things die. All living things are lost in order to survive in this world. Landslide, fires, tsunamis, etc. are all natures in the world. So we are unlikely to say that this natural existence is unwise. We must do our best to live a happy life without letting it suffer from natural causes. The competition in the mind of people is caused by jealousy and hatred. This is because people are not satisfied with anything. Lord Buddha has showed us ways to be happy, such as letting go, inviting positive seeds, mindfulness, and etc.
You might think that friends and happy relationships are one of the main factors that cause relationships. But in reality, you're wrong. As the Buddha once said, there are 4 types of friends. There is a type that aids you in the times of needs, and points you to the right path when you are lost. Another is the enduring friend. They endure every moment with you, and would even die for you. The mentor who acts more like a father figure than a friend. And finally, the compassionate friend that also rejoices in the times of success, but not in your failures. As you can see, there are many types of friends, and not one of them could be all of them at once. You might think that all of these friends do good, and you're right, but it's not to say that you will not get into arguments which will further affect your feelings. As well as this, there are 4 types of bad friends. There's associated with you for gains, the one who tells lies behind your back, the one who says useless speech, and the one who ruins people's lives.
You said about bad friends. You learn moral deeds at school, and you should be capable of choosing friends yourself. So life is happiness because of technology and transport. Technology has been improved over the years and many developments have been made. MRI scanners, buses, planes, trains, etc. have all been built to help everyone with daily lives. So even technology with phones, iPads have been created in order to help many people from all over the world communicate and connect people together so it can make a peaceful connection. However, people can use this technology in a bad way and use this for immoral deeds. But if you use this in a good way and use a good amount of things, you won't get addicted to it. You have to use a good amount of it, then it will be good for you. For example, if you eat too much, then you'll get fat, and that might be your suffering.
I do agree that technology has improved, but the only thing that has improved is destroying the world, I mean. As pollution is created by all the cars that we use today, and carbon dioxide is made to the earth, causing global warming. And as you said about doctors, also X-rays are not that good for you as they expose radiation to your body. Like if you have a broken arm, you go through X-ray, and then that obviously exposes you to a radiation right there. So, and you said about food as well. What would you pick, healthy or junk food? Everyone would go for healthy, as it is healthy for your body, and when you will stay for the life as well. Also, people are also addicted to Facebook and that, like it says FAD here, Facebook addiction disorder. As too many people are online and social media can be used in a bad way for like cyberbullying and causes making people feel bad inside of them, committing suicide for more people. Like I remember a story about a boy who was playing Fortnite too much, and then as soon as he lost a game, he committed suicide in his basement.
First, I would like to start off with some rebuttal. I would kindly like to ask, how being born is suffering? Our parents are blessed with the presence of us, and babies may start crying, but that is because they are unaware of what is going on. And I'm sure you all agree. Our parents cry because they are ecstatic to have us around. They are not only proud to know that someone is taking care of us, but they are proud to know that someone will take care of them as well. And an answer to your rebuttal. Would you rather be living with a broken bone and suffering, or would you rather fix it with slight radiation and be happy for your life? Now moving on to my topic. Education. We don't think much of it, do we? But our Asian parents are constantly going on about how we need to be a doctor, a nurse, an engineer, or a pilot. That's what they call plenty of options.
Would you rather be exposed to radiation, as you say, and have cancer for the whole of your life? That is a possibility. Or have a broken arm? Because I'm pretty sure I would settle for a broken arm rather than have cancer. Do you know how many people suffer with cancer? It's an incurable disease, just like leukemia, AIDS, and many, many other diseases which cannot be cured. I agree that medicine has evolved through time and it's very successful. But do you know who suffers from us having good medication? Think of all the poor animals that suffer just for us to have a good health. The percentages are over 59% of animals who get tested for us are rats. Innocent rats, mice, rabbits, birds. Do you think it's right that they should suffer for our health?
First, I would like to start off with some rebuttal. Cancer can be solved and technology is improving. Of the time, animal testing is redoing. If you work hard, you will become successful. And once you become successful, then you will be happy. This pattern of belief explains what most often motivates us in life. We think, if I just get that raise or hit that next sales target, I'll be happy. If I can just get that next good grade, I'll be happy. If I lose that 5 pounds, I'll be happy. And so on, success first, happiness second. The only problem is that this formula is broken by people like you that think that life is suffering because you think that success and happiness does not exist. More than a decade of groundbreaking research in the fields of positive physiology and neuroscience has proven in no uncertain terms that the relationship between success and happiness works the other way around.
First of all, I would like to say, life is changing. No two moments are the same. People come and go. World goes up and down. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you laugh. Life is impermanent. People always tend to look at the things that's in front of them. They're not always thinking what's deep inside. Someone just said that Buddha taught us how to be happy. Yeah, Buddha said it because Buddha understood what suffering is first. Buddha knew what suffering is. That's what Buddha said. The two noble truths. Are we all Buddhists? Are you guys Buddhists? Are you? Like, are you? If you're Buddhist, you're going to understand why Buddha said life is suffering. Are you a true Buddhist? Yes. Are you? Do you guys understand what Buddha said? Life is nothing other than suffering, that's the truth. And also, if we talk about respect and arguments, there's lots of people who argue, and there's lots of people who go to prison because they argued. And if you walk up to them and ask, oh my God, are you feeling great? Are you having a great time? And they will say, oh, if I was patient for a second, I'm not in this situation. Do you really?
So, imagine a world where people died due to illnesses that no one knew the cure of. But that was 1,000 years ago. So now, we live in a world where scientists and doctors who have found out cures for diseases and illnesses that would have wiped out humans from existence. This miracle is known as medicine. It's the science and practice of diagnosing, treating and preventing diseases. Methods of medicine have been changed from drinking kottamalli to tasty vitamins and to surgeries. Take a look at Japan, for example. They have found many crazy discoveries such as medical robots, which is no surprise that they live longer and happier because of these inventions. You might be thinking that living longer doesn't mean that they are happy, right? Well, they have less risks of illnesses. That is one reason to be happy.
Next, I would like to invite all students to come forward to sing a group song. Now it's time for awarding certificates and trophies.
about to bring.
ගෞරවනීය සංඝරත්නයන්ට දයාපර ගුරුතුමියන්ගෙන්ද ආදරණීය දෙමව්පියන්ගෙන්ද අවසරයි. මගේ දයාපර සහෝදර සහෝදරියනි, අද අපිට විශේෂ දවසක් වුණා. ඔබ සෑම දිනම වසරක් පුරා ජේතවන පින්බිම තුළ ඊනගත් දහම් කරුණු යහපත් ගතිසිරිත් ජීවිතයට එකතු කරගත්තා. අද දින අපගේ බලාපොරොත්තු වුණේ ඒ අත්දැකීම් වලින් විඳක් ඔබ සමග බෙදා ගන්නයි. මම සිතන්නේ අද දින ධම්ම දිනය අප සාර්ථකව නිම කළා කියාය. ලස්සන උණුසුම් ආලෝකමත් ලංකාවෙන් අතර සීතල එංගලන්තයේ දෙසන අපි සෑම ඉරිදාවකම මේ පන්සල් භූමියට එන්නේ හරිම සතුටින් සහල් වෙන්න. වැඩිමල් අපිට සහ කුංචි නංගිලා මල්ලිලාට ඒ උතුම් බුද්ධ වචනය සමීප කරන්නට උදරදරන ස්වේච්ඡාවෙන් තම ශ්‍රමය කාලය වැය කරන ගුරුතුමියන්ට සහ ඒ සඳහා මඟ පෙන්වන අවවාද අනුශාසනා ලබා දෙන ගරුතර ගුණවංශ ලොකු හාමුදුරුවෝ සෝරත හාමුදුරුවෝ සහ ඉන්ද්‍රරත්න හාමුදුරුවෝ අතම මහා සංඝරත්නයට අපේ නමස්කාර පූර්වක සිහිය පුද කරමු. මෙම ප්‍රසංගය සඳහා අපිට පුහුණු කරපු ගුරුවරු මෙන්ම අපගේ දෙමව්පියන්ද ආහාර පාන ආදී සංග්‍රහ කළ වැඩිහිටියන්ද ගෞරවයෙන් සිහිපත් කරමු. රංගුගෙන් ඉදිරිපත් කළ මගේ සහෝදර සහෝදරියන්ට සහ නැරඹීමට පැමිණි ඔබ සැමට ස්තුතියි.
Venerable Sangha, parents and children, I've been asked to give the vote of thanks on behalf of all the pupils at the Dhamma school. We are very fortunate to have Venerable Gunavamsa Thera as the chief monk of the temple, who is presented at all important occasions. Venerable Sorata Thera is always there for us in many ways, including conducting the puja and keeping the temple in order. Venerable Indra Thera, who joined us recently, has been a great help to the Dhamma school with his guidance. Our teachers have been working very hard with all the children, and we are very grateful to them. Thank you to all the parents for arranging the classes, preparing refreshments and supporting us. Finally, I wish to thank all the pupils of the Dhamma school for making this event a success.
Most Venerable, the Deputy Director of Jethavana Vihara, Sorata Thero, teachers of the Dhamma school, dear children and parents. Here we marked a remarkable event of our Dhamma school, which we conduct in order to impart knowledge of Dhamma in our children. So with a lot of dedications and commitments of the teachers, under the guidance of our Nayaka Hamduru and our Sorata Hamduru, year 2018 has also come to an end successfully, of which the thanks should go to each and every one of those who paved the way for its success. And children, especially the debate teams, this is the kind of message you have to take throughout this country wherever you will be, because there will be questions from you, from your friends from other religions, what Buddhism is. So I think you have factual information, enough factual information about what it is. So bring this message, and that will be something for the welfare of the existence of Buddhism.